We're laughing at you because you said you would never do this in front of the one person who should be able to see you at your most vulnerable. That's what's absurd. Y'all cry on the internet, but you won't cry in front of your loved ones, and you think that's not mentally unwell. Officer Tatum decided to do a response video sponsored by Israel and AIPAC. And
you know, it's fair game to criticize people. It's fair game. We're internet people. I'm not going to sue nobody over fair criticisms.
For context, in case you aren't aware, we did a video in which we talked about Officer Tatum. There was a viral video going around of him from a podcast 2 years ago where he said,
I would never cry for my wife.
Someone asked, what happens if your kid dies? He says, I would try not to cry in front of her. If I go to my father's funeral, I ain't crying, all this stuff. Sure enough, he found out Charlie Kirk passed and turned on his live stream and decided to drop some tears for everybody. So people, splice those two together. It was kind of funny to say you would never cry, but then you're on stream crying for the whole world, right? He didn't like that. He was quite upset that we was laughing at that.
But to take a video from 2 years ago to somehow leverage that to
like it's not
make
valid,
fun of me for crying, tearing up when Charlie Kirk was murdered is insane to me.
Is that right? So 2 years ago, is it valid because it's Charlie Kirk?
You're missing the point.
Right.
The point was not, we're not laughing at you because you're the person that you admired died. We laughed at you because of the irony
Daddy Kirk.
Okay, you wouldn't cry in front of someone close to you because someone else close to you would die. But someone that is remote, you're going to cry in front of the whole world. That's the thing that is laughable.
But for you to be so disgusting and you see your friend get murdered on television, I could imagine what that does to his kids. And to try to make fun of somebody for that is the lowest that you can go. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com, ladies and gentlemen, Black Friday is here. 30% off, up to 60%.
Did they make fun of you? The Daddy Kirk shit was for Stevie Knight. They didn't make fun of you for crying about no Charlie Kirk, bro. They brought up a contradictory statement that you had made and an action that you did,
% off.
What the hell did I just notice? What happened? What happened? What kind of jump cut was that?
Chair.
It's not a jump cut.
It is.
It's not a jump cut. I can play the original video. Watch how he goes from like, how dare you? By the way, why don't you buy these shirts so you can move in style?
But for you to be so disgusting, and I was at his wedding. I know his wife. I could imagine what that does to his kids. And to try to make fun of somebody for that is the lowest that you can go. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com, ladies and gentlemen, Black Friday is here. 30% off, up to 60% off on the entire store. And that means every single product. This section here is for 60% off.
Now, did I edit that shit?
Put an ad
is that
in.
me? Bro, what you want me to do? It wasn't me.
This is triggering for him, and I get that. So
that's why he was so triggered. He had to do a merch sale. When I'm triggered, that's what I do too. I'm mourning my nigga. Buy my sweatpants so you could stay warm in these cold times.
Don't forget to buy these shirts. Don't forget to buy these shirts. We got the merch. Buy these shirts.
Let me make sure I know exactly. 2 years ago about men crying.
They're taking a clip from something I said 2 years ago.
Okay, and why is he saying 2 years ago, right? He's, why would you use something from 2 years ago? All right, he's trying to hint that there's something wrong with doing that.
They're taking a clip from something I said 2 years ago, and which is not 2 years ago, because I believe the same thing today, but
so who cares? So who cares if it was 2 years ago, 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago? If you still believe the same thing, that means that video is still relevant today. So it doesn't...
Wait.
With doing that.
They're taking a clip from something I said 2 years ago, and which is not 2 years ago, because I believe the same thing today.
Okay,
Hey,
yeah, he
but-
said he
So-
believes the same thing today.
So who cares? So who cares if it was 2
Right,
years ago,
right,
5 minutes ago, 5 years ago? If you still believe the same thing, that means that video is still relevant today. So it doesn't matter. We think it 2 years ago. It doesn't matter.
But why would you use a clip from me from 3 years ago saying I'm an atheist?
Your argument?
I'm still an atheist, but why would you use a clip from 3 years ago saying I'm an atheist?
I didn't know
don't
that.
believe in God.
I didn't-
I'm never gonna believe in God. Why use a clip from 3 years?
Myron, calm down.
No, that's
But
wild.
You have to appreciate like the fake outrage. The 2 years ago, why would you use a clip from 2 years ago? I still think that today. Then shut the
Right.
fuck up. Like, why are you acting like you ain't used older clips to make a point against somebody politically? And if you still, and I'm the retard because I remember when we did the other video, I said, to be fair to him, this video was from 2 years ago. Maybe he changed his opinion. And his dumb ass, no, I didn't change my opinion. I still think this, but how could you use it?
Weak men are viewed as unattractive. You can make the argument that crying can be viewed as a weakness.
Listen to what he said. That crying could be. That's what he said. That crying could be a weakness.
Yeah. What? So
You
you said you never, ever, you went outcast on us, ever.
just watch how cowardly he's gonna be. He just doesn't want to own what he's
You
saying.
say you had men cry in front of you. That's why you're not with them.
Sometimes I look up videos of like army dads coming.
So you heard that? He said to the woman, "Oh, you saw a man crying in front of you. That's not why you're not with them." Implying
I would
that
never.
something is wrong with men crying, and that's why a woman wouldn't want to be with them. Keep watching.
Because women judge men very harshly on that. I would never cry in front of my wife.
You see him say "could" there, and he would say he would never, and he says women judge men for that.
But I admired the guy that said the reasons why he wouldn't cry because he needs to be strong for his father. And every man, in my personal opinion, would want to have that perspective.
I will try not to cry in front of anybody. There's compulsion for me to cry at times, and I will not do it in front of people. I saw my father cry one time, and it was at his father's funeral.
So you think if
That's
a
it.
man shows his emotion makes him a less man?
No, I just think men shouldn't do it. I know when emotions happen to me, and I refrain from exposing that emotion in front of people. You say you had men cry in front of you. That's why you're not with them.
Sometimes I look up videos of like army dads.
We need to just be straight. It is mentally ill
Man, no.
to believe it's normal to not cry in front of your wife, but it's normal to cry on the internet. Sorry, that's weird. Now, I could be generous and say I agree with the sentiment that during a time of crisis, you guys are in the heat of battle, you guys are dealing with something that's an emergency, that you're going to put aside your emotions to deal with what's in front of you. That's a super normal statement.
That's not
But
what
the problem with a lot of these characters, like Tatum, is that they live in absolutism because they're like doing this like alpha male, a very strong man, like super traditional fucking cosplay. And it's just not real. It's not in real life. Guess what, guys? Soldiers on deployment, they cry. They might not cry when bullets are flying overhead, but when they get back to the barracks and they deal with the day's stress, maybe not that moment, but the day after or the week after, some of them break down and cry. And if you think the other soldiers are going to look at them like, you a bitch, you're crazy. I've seen soldiers, police officers, deal with situations that are completely crazy. And you see them run off to the corner because something is traumatic and they cry. And if you think that other men are like, we can't do our job because one officer over there is tearing, that's not real. And that's why people are laughing at you. It's because you're trying to uphold this image of men that's not real. Men are human. We deal with stressful situations the way that you were dealing with Charlie Kirk. And sometimes we break down and we can't control it the way you're pretending you can. We're laughing because there's hubris in thinking you're going to control grief. You're going to control all your emotions.
Nobody's laughing at you for crying about Charlie Kirk. It's the contradictory in what you said. And then you just made this video and you still believe that you still believe that today. It'd be different if you didn't believe that today. You know what I'm saying?
Whenever you want. That's how you was talking. We're laughing at you because you said you would never do this in front of the one person who should be able to see you at your most vulnerable. That's what's absurd. Y'all cry on the internet, but you won't cry in front of your loved ones, and you think that's not mentally unwell. I don't even care. And personally, I know Preach is not like this. Preach says, I don't want to see you cry online, whatever. He doesn't like that shit. I personally don't care. I just think this standard of like, I won't cry in front of the people who've known me my whole life, but I'll cry for strangers. My wife will be destabilized because she sees me. Do you not understand that women are not retarded creatures? that women can also be tough during stressful times, that women can sometimes be your rock when you're going through something. It's not just one-way street.
Listen, bud, what I understand from this is this. You lied. Or you thought you was that one and you're not. Kid would die, you would cry. And I think that's okay. If your dad would die, he would cry. And if not, but you cry for you're weird. Extremely weird. And right now, you even see this and you don't comprehend that because I understand the triggers, whatever.
Oh, you're being generous. You're being generous.
I'm always a generous one.
Yeah, you're being very generous.
Yes, very.
This is how you frame it.
The reason why he's doing that is he's triggered because there was laughter, there was his friend. But no, you would cry. If you cried for that, you would cry for your family.
This is how you dodge accountability. You frame it against the argument that you know you can win against, which is like moral outrage.
Otherwise, you're putting on an act. You know what I'm saying?
They laughed at me. Listen, if we were laughing at people because they were mourning the death of Charlie Kirk, I would have made videos about Megyn Kelly. I would have made videos about all the other content creators. We didn't. So to pretend like people just want to laugh at you because you cried, that's you just being a victim. You enjoy that because it's the one road you can win down. You didn't mention any of the things that we said, which is fine. You just went, oh, can you believe that they laughed at the death of and Massa is so good to me, and they cried, they laughed. You want to buy my shirt? $5.99. Mine is Charlie Kirk. That's what he did. He did a performance, and he was gripping people emotionally, right? And it's funny to me because I grew up in this internet age where I heard how fucking emotional libtards are and everything like that. But you realize like these motherfuckers, they all love to do this victim shit whenever they get criticized.
What if your kid died?
That's a different thing. I mean, I would try not to cry in front of my wife.
All right, if my kid. I have never, and my wife has never seen me cry. I've never cried in front of my wife.
You think that the whole internet saw you, dude? The person that is the most close to you is not gonna see it, but you're gonna expose yourself like an up-and-coming model to everybody else.
My guy, you're just not conservative enough. You're not conservative enough because conservative women don't have internet. This guy talking about.
I heard a guy say this, is that when my father passes away, which everybody's parent is going to pass away, I'm not going to cry at his funeral.
So as you listen to it, I said I saw a clip of a guy say that I'm not going to cry at my dad. I didn't say I wasn't going to cry at my dad's funeral. I said the guy that I admired had said this. I didn't say I wouldn't cry at my dad's funeral. I just said I'm not going to do it in front of my wife. I go cry on my own. I didn't say I wouldn't cry at my dad's funeral. I just said I'm not going to do it in front of my wife.
Is your wife not going to be at your dad's funeral?
No. You know why?
So he's trying to walk back the statement, right? He's doing this cowardly thing where he's trying to run away from what he said.
Why is she not going to be at the funeral?
My dad's funeral. Okay, well, what if your wife's there? What, are you going to run and hide in a corner to cry at your dad's?
Right.
I don't know, bro. Y'all try to make sense of this for me. I don't really understand it, but let's keep watching.
But when stuff hit the road, I need to be strong for my wife. That's all I said. But you don't get your lick back.
This is a sickness of the highest.
4 million people saw you.
For me,
I think
you suffer in silence. That's what I think.
Hey man, this is the loudest silence I ever heard in my life.
No man,
it was
not
snotty. It was. Listen, I need to call the Merriam Dictionary because I don't think that shit's included in silence.
Snotty ass.
I'm gonna cry on my own. 4 million people see you.
I was in the military.
But your wife, God forbid, your wife sees you.
Yeah,
but 4 million randoms. What are we even discussing right now?
All right, let's finish this clip. I'll move on from Officer Talman.
Sponsored by Israel and APAC.
I thought it was meme music at first.
Hold
I didn't
on,
realize.
time out.
I get the APAC Shakur jokes now. I mean, I think that's still kind of racist though. to call that nigga to like Tupac Shakur though, like
About this.
it's only because he's black. If it was a white person, you couldn't call him that.
Think about that. Coconuts and
Picking coconuts in Barbados.
Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Walter. He might be a potato, but he definitely gave us some great quotes.
Now, I have cried multiple times because of Charlie's death. The only reason I could have turned the feed off, been like, I'm gonna turn the feed off. The only reason I didn't is because I wanted people to understand the raw emotion of what happened with Charlie and that they weren't alone in that particular situation. That for what people were feeling when Charlie died, they weren't alone. And
If you guys aren't aware, so Charlie Kirk was in the hospital after getting shot. People didn't even know if he passed away yet, but he was in critical condition. This man jumped on a live stream to talk about it. Everyone's different. Personally, if my good friend Preach gets shot, I ain't gonna run to you niggas to talk about it. I don't know. I'm not selling t-shirts right after. Everyone's different though. Grieve however you want.
I am. Hey, all right? You get on it and you buy the shirt.
If I'm about to pass away and you on stream already getting them AdSense dollars, yeah, I'm gonna come for you as a ghost. Now he's saying he finds the news out and he starts crying and now he's like, yeah,
at
the
some
reason
point
why
you're gonna have to make a video about it though. I mean,
I allowed myself to cry on streams because like I knew people were sad and I knew like right when they all found out, like I found out, they needed to see me.
it's a little bit different. I mean, Brandon Tatum was there, but all that shit, they all in cahoots with each other, bro. That's industry shit. You already know how I feel, bro. If you've been watching me by now, man.
Tear up. Don't make it this convoluted thing. Don't try to treat yourself like a hero. You were human. You found out some bad news. You cried. Now you're trying to rewrite history and be like, I knew that everyone needed to see me cry on camera. Guys.
You are not alone.
And let's say I agree with you. Let's say I agree with you that people needed to be seen, right? That's what you're saying right here?
because I wanted people to understand the raw emotion of what happened with Charlie and that they weren't alone in that.
If you lose your dad or your kid, you don't think your wife wants to know that too? So you want to give that emotion to strangers. You want to make sure that they know that they're not alone, that they're suffering, you understand it.
Thank you.
But your wife who's lost the same child you just lost, you won't cry in front of her. Make that make sense, guys. He wants to comfort strangers, but he don't think he should.
But he doesn't want to find comfort in his wife.
In that particular situation. That for what people were feeling when Charlie died, they weren't alone. And so I just told him, I didn't tell him to cut the feed. But to try to make a joke out of this and to try to act like it's crazy, man. Because one day, one of these guys are gonna lose somebody that they care about, and people are gonna make fun of them. And to me, it's really nothing to make fun of because I don't really kill. If I want to do it, I can do it if I want to. And if I said that and I do something different later because I changed my mind, that's on me.
But you didn't change your mind. You said you still believe what you believed 2 years ago. So why you bring that up?
They're taking a clip from something I said 2 years ago, and which is not 2 years ago. I believe the same thing today. But my wife has never.
You know, you guys, I'll tell y'all, these people will just rewrite narratives. They'll rewrite reality. They don't care. And they'll just start rolling with the lie and try to have you argue with their lies. What he said is just made up. Nobody laughing at you because you're mourning something. You'll have to do that because you.
You know what it makes me think of?
Go.
It makes me think of when you watch Pop the Balloon, and then they pop the balloon, and they keep on going. And when it comes to them, they say some shit that, oh, well, I popped because, and it's something that
had nothing to do with it.
No, they said after they popped. I'm like, no. Why did you initially pop?
Because you didn't learn that he didn't have a job.
Yeah, you didn't learn about
after
that
you popped.
until after. What's the initial? Now that it come to you, you want to run it back. Oh no, yeah, it's because of that I did that, not because of because initially you just saw the person and you felt it was shallow, so you changed your intentions.
That's it.
But that's a bit the same thing.
So anybody says, "Oh, Haben preached," y'all were laughing at him, man. Don't let them lie like that. They're just making that shit up. But they need to do that to paint you a certain way.
Seen me cry before. Now a person can say, "Oh, she watched your live stream and saw you." Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But I have never cried in front of my wife, and I'm not saying that people won't. It's just saying, what is the compartmentalization of being strong in times of crisis? when Charlie died, that was a small, I don't know, 15-second experience, but we prayed during the show. I wiped my tears away during the show. I kept broadcasting. And I think
Good boy.
it's nothing, it's nothing wrong with
Saying the
what
wrong
happened.
stuff.
But yeah, I mean, to me,
You're saying the wrong stuff for justifying your crying. If you go justify your crying, you should have said, "Oh, I wasn't there, so it wasn't nothing I could have done, so that's why I cried." You know what I'm saying? It's not like I was there and could have been a strong man to ease the scene with my police officer training. You know what I'm saying? To calm the scene, secure the scene, right? You know, that's what you should be saying though, but you ain't saying that though. You ain't
it's
saying
disrespectful to
that,
Charlie and his legacy that y'all think it's funny if somebody were to tear up because Charlie died.
All right, so here's the second one. Now he's trying to make it about like, oh, these guys are trying to disrespect Charlie by pointing out my hypocrisy, right? So you see how they try to frame it in the way that they can win? Because, God forbid, these guys, they were making fun of the dead. That's what he's trying to do now.
Yeah, 100%.
It hit different, bro, when Charlie died.
White Charlie, Kirk is my white daddy.
Okay, that's disrespectful. Yeah, that was unnecessary. Let me play it back.
White Charlie, Kirk is my white daddy. Why you gotta be a white daddy? Kirk my daddy. Kirk my daddy.
Why they zoom in on Steve like that?
You cowards that
That nigga
just
Stevie
want
is a
content to be
nerd.
made. I just would never, I would never understand y'all. You guys take something that happened 2 months ago, referring to a video 2 years before that, to make content. Y'all suckers, man. And I no longer support I've been preached. It's fair game
We
to
took
criticize.
something from 2 years ago that you still think today about a situation that happened not long ago. That's what we did.
Yeah, it is what it is. I never liked Officer Talman. I know he's getting his checks from Israel and AIPAC, to sell out his own country. So, good for him. But, yeah, dude has always struck me as a bit of a dummy. And this is just.
Well, you just proved it right there.
He didn't understand anything we said.
No, he didn't understand. No, the point, and him. He didn't get it.
And I don't support them anymore. Nigga, have you ever bought a ticket or anything? What is this dude?
But you could buy a shirt. You could buy this T-shirt right here. You could buy this T-shirt right here. You could buy this one. As a matter of fact, we'll send it to you.
You know what? This must be what like a woman feels like when a dude comes up to them and they're like, "I don't want to be with you," and she probably sitting there like,
I'm not interested.
"Who are you?" Imagine getting rejected by somebody you didn't even know existed. That's what it feels like. But yeah, I never liked this guy. So hearing all this is more good news.
Hey man,
Welcome.
y'all let me
once
know what y'all think, man. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap that dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should do when you clicked on this video. I get it on the next one, and I'm gone. T by Pit and 9.